The Grass token on Solana has more than doubled in the last week. It's a new concept. It's trying to monetize unutilized internet bandwidth. Will the token continue to appreciate? I've already made a video on Grass before. Let's look deeper into the Onchain Analytics. So we are currently at $3.06. We are up 123% this week. And we have to take the Onchain Analytics a bit with a grain of salt because a lot of trading actually does not happen on-chain on Solana. A lot of trading happens on the centralized exchanges. So chances are that you heard about Grass on your centralized exchange app. It appears as if the exchanges have some interest in moving the token. But I've already explained this in more detail in the prior video. At the time, by the way, we were still at $2.73. And so after publishing, we first went up by 40% almost, to then retrace again. Now I try to be early on this channel. I publish videos on various meme coins regularly over here, so feel free to subscribe. Now here's something very interesting. Grass actually did see a lot of attention by retail. Now that attention seems to have slowed down. Check out the performance of that video. It's published only 3 days ago and an average video is here in gray. That Grass video got roughly 5 times more views. But check out how this is now slowing down. Maybe the centralized exchanges advertise the Grass token a bit less on their platforms now. But let's see what we can get from the Onchain Analytics. What we've got behind me is the number of new users per day. So this is simply tracking on the Solana chain whenever a new wallet buys into the Grass token. And we can ignore the very latest data point because today is not yet over, but we can see an interesting spike on the 8th of November. That's also when the price spiked. It appears as if the initial launch brought a lot of attention, but then the secondary wave must have been marketing. Now this chart looks especially impressive when we compare this to the number of recurring traders per day. Almost every single day we see more new time traders than recurring traders. This is good, because that shows us an expanding investor base, right? The more people invest into a token, the better. And the effect with those two waves that we can see from the new versus recurring traders, we can also see that in the number of token transactions. Initially, a wave upon launch, then a secondary rally. Again, more token transactions, of course, means more attention, tends to mean also higher prices. Now, who's driving the current prices, at least when we just look on chain? Is it the small retail wallets? Is it the medium-sized retail wallets? Is it large retail? Is it the whales? This, by the way, is holdings up to $1,000, up to $10,000, up to $100,000, and above $100,000. And we see how this spiked when we combine all wallet cohorts on the 8th of November. But we also noticed how that spike is less pronounced for medium retail. So it's really the smaller wallets that tend to make more transactions now, where the growth is the strongest. Now, there was an airdrop of Grass, and this is how the number of holders spiked so much at the beginning. That airdrop sell pressure, of course, is not good for the price action, but it seems like the centralized exchanges or some whales supported the price during the selling. It seems now that the selling is somewhat stopping. Because on the left side, we've got the number of wallets that have at least 300 Grass tokens. At the current price, that's roughly $900 worth of the token. For the graph in the middle, we've got a minimum holding of $9,000. For the graph on the right, a minimum holding of $90,000. So it's small retail, medium-sized retail, and the whales. And we can see how small retail aggressively sold the airdrop. But just recently, right, when we look at the last 24 hours, the selling seems to subside somewhat. We even see some accumulation of medium-sized retail in the last week. That might partially explain this rally. And at the same time, the whales aren't selling at all. Now we go at 10x with each of those charts in minimum holding. So when this here is going up by roughly 50 wallets, that offsets selling of 500 wallets over here. And it appears as if that's exactly what's happening, right? The selling wasn't as aggressive by small retail compared to the buying of medium retail. Now, I do have a problem with the token, with the on-chain analytics of the token, and that's why I don't own any Grass. And that's the massive ownership by the whales. So this is something we normally do not see. 98.8% is held by wallets that have at least $100,000 worth of the token in the wallet. The wallets that have less than $1,000 of the token, they currently only own 0.7%. And it still tends to decline, but potentially also somewhat slowing down. The share of medium-sized retail and large retail tends to slightly grow in the last week, but really what seems to be happening is that small retail tends to sell the airdrop and the whales buy up that selling pressure. I believe the future of this token is 100% in the hands of the centralized exchanges, of the team, of the developers, of all the insiders, where we don't know what the actual plan is. I don't think that the plan is to rug pull everybody within the next week. But I also don't think that the plan is that this token will outperform Bitcoin over the next 10 years. What I think is most likely going to happen is that the token will get continued support by the whales to generate attention with the price action, and then after a while potentially bleed the people that hold the token. So it's probably not a quick pump and dump. It's probably some kind of slow accumulation. This is my best guess, to then afterwards, maybe when Bitcoin rallies, to sell off some of that altcoin to make it not as visible. Because if grass was to go up by 10%, while Bitcoin and Ethereum was to go up, say, by 20%, then there won't be too many people that are going to complain. Now, obviously, there are a lot of eyeballs on grass. This is what I can see directly here on YouTube. However, when I observe the wallet tracking here in Premium, in the Premium membership of this channel, where we track more than 400 influencer wallets, I don't see that much action. So again, this is a hint that this is driven just by a few insiders that push a lot of marketing. And that marketing seems to be not through the influencers. So over here, we've got the grass token. We've only seen how Elmi Alim, an influencer with roughly 300,000 followers, how he swapped out of the grass token, how he sold grass for $1.60. He also sold the airdrop. We don't see any other signal around this token, and this is somewhat surprising. At least if this attention was natural, right? If this was something that goes across all of crypto. And so I prefer to buy tokens that actually get long-term adoption, where I see a lot of small investors buying in, where I then also see support by the whales. I don't necessarily like tokens that get sold off through an airdrop and then just get supported by a few insiders. I think it's better to see what the top traders are doing, to see what influencers are doing. When influencers buy a token and then afterwards promote it on their channel, prices tend to go up. And that's why there is a dedicated tutorial course just on finding and tracking those influencers. It's 8 videos in total. Again, it's part of Premium. It's down below, thebitcoinstrader.com. And there's not just those 8 videos, there is more than 100 videos also on blockchain analytics, the data we looked at today, also on portfolio allocation, on risk management, etc. So once we know that an influencer buys a token, we of course also discuss this in dedicated chats within Telegram. And if you're an active crypto trader and you haven't yet found the community that brings your alpha, feel free to check it out. It's $125 per month. There is a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like it, just message me within the first 7 days and I will refund you 100%. If it's the first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in Premium. Cheers.